fantasy football. Are you a player? Yes or no?
I'm not this year.
You have been before?
Before.
Yes. How many?
Yep.
So what? You're what? You just turned 25, 24. Can I say
24.
that? I'm sorry. Not like
24, you're good.
What? 24?
24, yep.
Okay. How many years do you think you played fantasy?
Fantasy football or just
football? Just football. Yep.
I've only done 2 years of fantasy football.
2 years. Why did you not do it this year?
Well, quite honestly, my job takes so much out of, like, it's even hard to do the podcast, but I mean, it's
right. Obviously because we haven't been on in 3 weeks. If you had the time, would you do it?
Absolutely.
Okay. You're a fan then. You're saying you're a fan of fantasy football. Okay.
Yep.
So remember, I'm a teacher. I like to educate. And I am not in any way saying fantasy football is a bad entity at all. This is the advice I'd like to give folks, everyone included. If you come into a room of people who do not play fantasy football, shut the fuck up. Okay? Nobody wants to hear anything about your fantasy team. If you are at someone's house watching the Vikings and you've all come together not to talk about, you want to talk football? Yep. But no one cares about your fantasy football team at all. Now, I like playing fantasy football until a certain point in my life where NFL football was not enjoyable because of fantasy football. And I'm not saying that for anybody else in the world. What I'm saying is, I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah, that's the type of guys that fantasy football, that's all they do. Oh, those your receivers. Oh, my receivers are really good this year.
Okay? And the reason being is because I watch football now. I could watch any NFL game that was on. Okay? Just like baseball. I could watch anything. But it ruined it for me when I was like, oh, the NFL Network, the Red Zone, these are great if you're a fantasy football player. However, my energy on a Sunday, if the Vikings are playing, is all about watching the Vikings with my friends and talking Vikings football or anything else, Aaron Rodgers, whatever. But I don't want to talk about Aaron Rodgers, you're fantasy football because I'm from Oconomowoc and Aaron Rodgers is the best thing since sliced bread. So what I did was I took him because he's going to be a stud in New York. And so it's hard to take him because he was a Packer, but yet I love Aaron Rodgers, okay, and how he looks. So I took him in my fantasy, and now my whole fantasy season is screwed, and I'm out $500. Don't care.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you something. We don't care.
Okay? When you come into a room talking fantasy football, it's like going on a date with a chick who talks about her ex-boyfriend. Whether it's week 1, week 5, 5 years down the road, I don't want to hear about your ex-boyfriend. I don't want to hear about how, you know what? I'm just going to win the Super Bowl this year, and then I get to buy my son a dog because I already know I'm going to win. No, that's a true story. I'm going to buy my kid a dog with the winnings from a fantasy football league that is not determined yet. True story. Wow. Don't care. Okay? And it ruins it for me. I love it that you are so invested in football that you want to keep that going. But no, I found myself hating the game of football because I don't need a reason to watch the Atlanta Falcons play football. I don't. I'll watch it like I'll watch any other NFL game. So the fantasy thing killed it for me because I couldn't enjoy it because if my tight end didn't catch 4 passes, I lost. Now, I'm not saying that's for everyone. I'm just saying don't bring it up in my realm when all I want to do is watch football.